I'm 30 years old. It's been 7.5 years since I graduated college. So you're probably thinking, why the fuck is he making videos about college? Listen guys, if 42-year-old Ankur Variku can make videos about college, I'm sure a 30-year-old Anubhav can as well. I recently got invited to a college fest in Coimbatore to be a part of a panel discussion to share my expertise with college students on how to navigate college life. You know, I was very reluctant to accept the invitation at first, but as soon as I learned that I'm going to be sharing the stage with two very attractive ladies, I accepted the invitation without batting an eyelid. Both married and older than I am, but that's exactly my type. I'm obviously just joking. Look, the real reason as to why I accepted the invite, and I'm going to quote from a LinkedIn post about the event. There's this incredibly soft corner that I have towards young, impressionable boys and girls in their late teens and early to mid 20s. Okay, so that just makes me sound like a pedophile, doesn't it? Let's read the full paragraph, shall we? Not least because I see so much of my former self in them, lost and teeming with anxiety while trying to navigate the challenges that college and the real world present. So it's been more than 7 years since I graduated college, which means that I'm an old fuck now, but that also means that I've had some time to reflect on some of the blunders that I made in college. And if, hypothetically speaking, I could go through college once again, what would I do differently? While I didn't share all the blunders that I made in college with those students, lest the panel discussion would still be going on, I did share with them the biggest blunder that I made in college, which is exactly what I thought about sharing with you as well. You see, my parents were spending $40,000 every single year on my engineering degree. Not to mention other miscellaneous expenses, which in my case were expenses on alcohol, cigarettes, and marijuana. But hey, don't tell my parents this. Because I knew that my parents were spending truckloads of money on my education and my recreation as well, I felt this healthy sense of pressure to give it absolutely everything that I had, to work my butt off throughout college, leave absolutely no stone unturned, work all day, all night, during the week, during the weekends, pulling all-nighters left, right, and center, just so that I could do justice to all the money that my parents were spending and graduate with as high a GPA as possible, such that that would allow me to get the best job possible. And that's exactly what I did. I graduated college with a 3.9 GPA and got a job for myself on the trading floor at Goldman Sachs' New York City headquarters. And you might be wondering, but that's a good thing, no? In hindsight, it wasn't. Allow me to explain. You see, it's okay to operate with blinkers on, singularly focusing on one thing when you know with a high degree of confidence that that one thing that you're focusing on is exactly what you want to be doing. That one thing that you're focusing on is your life's calling. For example, for someone like a Virat Kohli, his singular focus, cricket. For someone like a Cristiano Ronaldo, his singular focus, football. But 18-year-old Anubhav, who was entering college, was absolutely clueless. He didn't even know if he wanted to study engineering or not, let alone what type of engineering. I took up engineering because I didn't know what else to take up in college. I was a science student in class 9, 10, 11, and 12. And my class 11 physics teacher told my mom and told me that Anubhav has an aptitude for science. And so my mom and I thought that whatever he's saying must be correct. And so picking engineering in college makes the most sense. But fast forward to today, I'm not doing anything that's even remotely close to what I studied during those grueling 4.5 years in college. I now ply my trade as a sports presenter, and I truly believe that this is so much closer to my life's calling than doing something in engineering would have been, or doing what I was doing at Goldman Sachs was. But the mistake that I made when I was about to enter college, or even when I was in college, was that I never took the time to actually think about what is it that I would enjoy doing. What is it that aligns most with my very unique set of skills, strengths, and interests? What is it that would feel like play to me but work to others? What is it that I'm a natural at? What is it that would make me feel the most alive? And the reason I never took the time to think along these lines is because I was always buried in my books, wanting to be the best academically and be the best when it comes to extracurricular activities as well. But don't do that in college, especially when you aren't quite sure about what you want to be doing in life. I mean, don't neglect your studies and your extracurriculars, but college is also supposed to be a time when you learn a lot more about yourself. And that only happens when you spend time in solitude, thinking, as opposed to simply doing. That's how you become a lot more self-aware. And when you become a lot more self-aware, that's when you grow as a person as well. Now, there are some people who are just lucky, you know, right from the time they were in their mother's womb, or actually right from the time they were in their dad's ball sacks, they knew exactly what they wanted to be doing. You know, those child prodigy types whose mother tongue is neither English nor Hindi, but one of those programming languages like Java, Python, or C++. They know at a very tender age that they want to become the next Mark Zuckerberg or the next Elon Musk. And so they operate with tunnel vision, jerking off to code all day long. And so people who don't belong to this minority, people like me, and I'm guessing you as well, otherwise you probably wouldn't be watching this video, people like us, when making the transition from high school to college or while in college, we ought to explore more, think more, and do less. That doesn't mean that you neglect your studies and your work and you fuck around all day long. Be attached, but don't be so attached that you end up missing the forest for the trees. Be attached in a slightly detached manner. Every now and then, take a bird's eye view and question whether the path that you're currently on is the right path for you. And even if that means taking a gap year before college, so be it. I honestly wish I had taken one, but the Indian mentality is such that we're always in a rush. High school khatam, high school se college. College में 4 साल का कोर्स 3 साल में खत्म करना है, 3 साल का कोर्स 2 साल में खत्म करना है. कॉलेज खत्म, कॉलेज के बाद जॉब, जॉब मिल गई, अब शादी, शादी हो गई, अब बच्चे हो गए, भैंचोद यही सेम प्रोसेस उनसे करवाओ. And because we're in such a rush, we never think about stopping to pause, to reflect, to perhaps taking a few steps back in the short term, knowing that these few steps back in the short term will help us take a giant leap in the long term. In other words, we end up being short-term greedy as opposed to being long-term greedy. Or gyan nahi dunga. Moral of the story is that instead of solely focusing on getting those 99s in the classroom, the way Anubhav did, get some 69s outside the classroom as well. Guys, just a couple of things before you're allowed to leave. Firstly, please like this video because the YouTube algorithm takes to your likes the way a fish takes to water or the way Anubhav takes to women. Also subscribe to the channel because I'm fully committed to getting this channel back on track and have some really cool stuff that's in the pipeline, including podcasts. And when I say podcasts, I'm talking about the fun podcasts and not the type of podcasts that only talk about nofap, spirituality, being vegetarian and ayahuasca, or however the fuck you pronounce that. I recorded one with Sing in USA recently and another one with this sex and intimacy coach. Her name is Ailey Sigeti, where I asked her why some of us are into MILFs. Full disclosure, I'm into aunties, or I feel I'm into aunties. I'm 30 right now, but I feel I'm into like women who are much older. Where does that stem from? Doesn't that sound a lot more fun than asking, are you spiritual? Also, Robin Uthappa has accepted my invitation to be on the pod, and so I'm hoping against all hope that that happens very soon. Lastly, in response to my previous video titled Why I'm Always Unhappy, a lot of you reached out with so many messages of love and support. Thank you so much. Anubhav is doing much better now, as you can probably tell from his body language in this video. What helped me get back on track, you're asking? A solid wank. I'm just kidding. All the love that you guys showered through your messages. And speaking of love, greedy Anubhav is hungry for some more of it in the comment section. Because when it comes to your love, less is not more. Only more is more. Look forward to hearing from you guys. Cheers.